Hi, I'm Matt with UploadLetters. Today we're going to talk about how to set up a checking account within the UploadLetters platform for sending checks. And then secondly, we're going to show you how to send both checks by themselves using the platform and also letters and checks. So let's go ahead and get started. So our bank account section has gated access. So if you are new to UploadLetters and you've never used the platform before, as long as you've signed up using a email address that's linked to your business domain, you would send an email address to support@uploadletters.com. We'll review that. Typically takes us a couple hours to review that and to configure your account. And from there, you can see this screen that we're looking at right now, which is the bank account section, and you'll have access to set up your bank account. So once you have access to that, you're going to click on Add Bank Account. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to fill out your bank account information, your company information, and you can upload a signature, a digital signature, or you can just simply draw one with your mouse on the application if you wanted to. So from there, you would click Create. And what that's going to do is trigger a micro deposit process that we have in place, which is an integration between UploadLetters and Stripe. So within 1 to 2 business days, you're going to receive two micro deposits, both within 1 cent to 99 cents. Once you've received those, you're going to go back into the application, and then you can see here that I have one bank account that's verified and I have a second account that is not yet verified. So you'll click on Click to Verify. You'll see the micro deposits where you can enter both of them here, and you would click verify, and from there your account's verified and you can start sending checks and you never have to go through that process again. Of course, if you want to set up multiple checking accounts, you just go through that process once for each checking account. All right, so now that we have our checking account set up, let's go through how to actually send checks. So you'll click on Send Checks. So very similar. If you're familiar with sending letters from the UploadLetters platform, it works exactly the same way. It's just in a different section of the application. So what we're going to review first is how to send a check by itself. So we see a few options. The first one is import from file. So this is if you're sending to many individuals at once. We'll review that in a subsequent video, but for now, we're going to talk about sending one check to one individual or company. So I'm going to select Add Manually. And then from here, I'm going to add a recipient. And I can type in my recipient information. If you're familiar with the address book, if I ever wanted to add additional recipients, I could to this batch, either just by adding a new recipient, and I'll click to cancel here, or I can add another recipient using my address book. If you're sending checks to, maybe municipalities, sheriff's office, where you're sending to the same ones over and over, you can add those to your address book, and you can select those addresses so you don't have to type them in the next time you send them. All right, so we have the one recipient right now, Spencer Tyler. So let's go ahead and click Next, and this is going to bring us to our checking. Our check data section. So this is where you would select what checking account. So it's going to default to whatever your default checking account is. If you only have one, obviously that's going to be your default. It is going to automatically populate on the payee, and this is going to go pay to the order of on the check is going to be the full name of the recipient that you entered on the previous page. Now, if you want that to be something different, maybe it's a company name, you can always take this toggle off and you could just type in the name of the entity or recipient of the check. Otherwise, it's going to default to the full name. It's going to default to today's date. So you can put today's date or any date in the future for the date of the check, and then you could fill in the checking account or the amount, the memo field, the note 1, note 2 if you want to populate that, and then we're going to click Save. So now we've set up our check. Now we do have the ability to add additional checks. We do have some clients that want to send multiple checks in a single mailing. If so, you can just click on the button with the 3 vertical dots that you see here, and you can add an additional check. But for now, we'll keep it with the one check. We'll click Next, and then we'll go through a few screens, the first one being return address. And then we can go in here and we can, this is our mailing options page. So we can select all the different service types: first class mail, certified mail with return receipt electronic, or priority mail. And then with pressure seal, or excuse me, with with checks, we also do have a pressure seal option. So if you're familiar with just a self-contained check with the perforations on the side, it's probably the most economical way of sending just a check by itself. So we do have that option. Otherwise, you can select any other service. So we'll select certified mail for now. Just keep it simple, and we will click next. And then this is going to be the letter preview, so we can see what the check is going to look like. Of course, if you want to see an image of what the check is ultimately going to look like with our check stock, you could go to UploadLetters.com under services and look for check mailing, and then you'll be able to see what our check stock looks like. But you can get a basic sense of what the check is going to look like once it's printed. And so we can review this, and if it looks if we're satisfied with how the check looks, then we can click next, and then we can go in here and we can place our order. You'll notice that there's a check surcharge. So the cost of the check is just the $2 surcharge plus whatever the cost is of the actual mailing. So if you've ever mailed letters on the platform, checks works the exact same way. We just add that $2 charge to the check. So we've now paid for that check. And now let's go ahead and send a check, and we'll do it pretty quickly here, a check with a letter. So we have a lot of clients that want to send a check that or a letter that accompanies the check. So maybe a cover letter describing to the individual or company of what you're actually mailing. So we can go in here and we can send it a few different ways. Let's go ahead and use add manually again. This time, instead of going straight to adding the recipient, obviously we'll want to upload whatever PDF we want to mail with this check. So in this case, we'll select the sample settlement letter. And then once that's uploaded, we will click next, and we'll go through the same exact process of adding a recipient. So we'll go in here and add our recipient. All right, so we have that added, and we'll click next, and then we can go in here, and the same options as before. We'll just go ahead and type in an amount here, save it, and we'll go to the mailing options page. And this time, let's go ahead and go with first class mail, and maybe we want to use a 6x9 envelope. All right, so now we're at the letter preview screen, and we can view what this is going to look like. And so really one of the benefits of this, aside from not having to fill out a check yourself and have to track it through the mail, is being able to show proof of what was actually mailed out. So you can see that our letter that accompanies the check, this is saved in the platform for 7 years. So if you ever need to access it and view what was actually mailed out, you can do so. So again, optional, you don't have to look at the letter before it's mailed out, but you can do the letter preview. And then you see here that we can pay with our wallet. One of the things to call out, and we've called this out in previous videos, is that if your order is below $10, then you're going to have to pay with your wallet balance. And you could just simply add funds to your wallet by clicking on the wallet balance and entering your credit card information, or if you've already done that once, just using a payment link with Stripe. So we'll cancel that, and then we could go ahead and pay with our wallet. And then once we've done that, it takes us back out to the tracking screen. And then if we want to refresh our screen and navigate to the batches section, we could see those 2 checks that we sent out. So you'll see here the batch type is letter with the check, and then the first one that we created is the check itself. And then the same as with letters, our default is sending these out next business day. So if you get it to us by 11:59 p.m. Central Time, we will mail it out the very next business day, unless you select the same day mailing option from the mailing options page before 11 a.m. Central Time. We would mail it out that same business day. So hopefully this was helpful. Let us know if you have any questions. You can always get a hold of us at support@uploadletters.com.